BadgerLink is Wisconsin's online library, providing Wisconsin residents with a collection of licensed, trustworthy databases and online resources from 6 content providers. All BadgerLink resources are paid for with state funding, so are accessible to be used by all Wisconsin residents. You can view all the resources available on the BadgerLink website at badgerlink.dpi.wi.gov. From the homepage, you can select the All Resources page at the top to view all 60 plus resources in the BadgerLink collection. As I said, the BadgerLink collection is made up of 60 resources from 6 different content providers, each with a bit different interface and content. That could be a lot to share with your library users. Also, there are a few different components to the BadgerLink collection that may be helpful for you as library staff to know. So with that in mind, and with the guidance of our BadgerLink advisory group, the For Library Staff page was created. So today I will not be talking about these resources themselves, but about materials created for you as library staff to share and promote BadgerLink resources found on the For Library Staff page. And you can find this page right next to the resources page in the dark blue bar across the top of the homepage and most other pages of the BadgerLink website. Upon going to the For Library Staff page, you're going to see 3 icons at the top right away. The link to Bulletin is the BadgerLink newsletter, where we share weekly updates on BadgerLink news related to resources, updates of the resources, training opportunities, and user stories. Our Contact Us form is also front and center on the page, so you can get to the DPI folks that work on BadgerLink at any time. And the request training form is to request personalized training on BadgerLink resources and access needs you may want for you and or your colleagues. Next, in the For Library Staff page is an accordion of other sections that drop down to show applicable icons and links under each section. And each section of the For Library Staff page has valuable information for you as a library staff member to hopefully help support and guide you in sharing BadgerLink resources with your community. The first section is called Getting Started. This section contains quite a bit of information created to assist you in providing access to BadgerLink resources to your community members. This first document is the Setup Guide. This explains how BadgerLink authentication works, and it may be especially helpful to start or continue a conversation with any colleagues that work in IT at your libraries, perhaps at a system level, if that is how your library is structured. So that's helpful to use in that regard. The next link is direct links to resources, which is a sheet with all 60 plus BadgerLink resources listed. So you can provide direct links to resources on your library web pages. You can send your community members to the BadgerLink website to access the resources in the collection. Remember, the resources page lists every single resource on the BadgerLink website. But we know that you can also provide context and share these resources better than we can. So we highly encourage you to share direct links to these resources via your web pages on your library websites, where your library users already are, where they're viewing their library accounts to renew books or checking out ebook titles and using the databases your library may purchase outside of BadgerLink resources. So this sheet is broken out, as I said, all 60 plus resources are here alphabetically by vendor, and then the resource title, a description, and then the direct resource URL with that authenticated URL information that you need to use in order to provide seamless access from your library network so that your users click this one URL link and get right into BadgerLink when they're at the library without having to log in. We also provide some resource logos so that you can provide that sort of image or visual for the resource itself. So that is the direct links to resources link. Next is the Access Guide to School and Home. This is a document with an infographic or visual for our K-12 school librarians to assist in explaining how students and educators can access BadgerLink resources from school or at home. And so this may not be especially applicable to public library folks, but I wanted to point it out either way. The next line here has a link to our frequently asked questions and an IP reporting form that we encourage you to bookmark and use to share updates or additional external IP ranges at your library with us in order to keep that seamless access when on the library network up to date. But there may be another instance of work that your library system does on your library's behalf. So you may be good to go there, but I like to point out the IP reporting form and the direct links to resources work together in order for your public library community users to access BadgerLink resources on the library networks with just a simple click and without having to log in. Next is a subscribe to Bulletin link, so you can have those newsletter posts landing in your inbox and keeping BadgerLink resources at the top of mind. And then also BadgerLink's collection development policy and procurement collections documents can be found on the For Library Staff page under Getting Started. We know that this is important information for full transparency of procurement of library collections and may be especially useful in these difficult times with challenges to resources nationwide popping up all the time. So we encourage you to review this policy as well as our procurement collections document on the statewide collection of online resources and databases and link to and share alongside your own library's policies to the collections you develop and purchase yourselves when that is deemed appropriate. So there are those two documents. Under Getting Started. The next section is called Resource Guides. Resource guides are documents that list the most applicable or popular BadgerLink resources based on audience or subject area. BadgerLink is a collection meant for all Wisconsin residents over their lifetime, so some resources will apply better than others, depending on that person's age and research need. The first guides listed are for our K-12 students broken down by grade level, and then K-12 subject area. Then there is the Public Library Resource Guide that has many of the BadgerLink resources listed by research topics or subject areas that we find the most applicable to adult public library users. Though this guide lists many resources, having them broken out into these areas of interest like genealogy or newspapers and health and wellness, we hope provides some additional structure to which BadgerLink resources best apply to adult public library users and how. So that's the Public Library Resource Guide. In addition to that guide, there are a few other guides under the Resource Guide section that may be of interest to this group. There are two resource guides specifically for working with younger library users, Youth Services and Homework Help. Youth Services Resource Guide highlights 5 resources. 2 resources offer programming ideas, Teaching Books for Libraries, and Novelist K-8. Teaching Books for Libraries, formerly known as Book Connections, has excellent features like book lists of award winners in children and young adult titles, the ability to make your own book lists for programming such as summer reading, and ways to share those lists and features in the resource like shelf talkers and bookmarks. Novelist K-8 offers reading recommendations and book reviews of children's and young adult fiction titles. Then there are 3 professional learning resources, including Library Information Science and Master File Complete and Professional Development Collection. Some of the titles found in these resources include Book List and Library Journal for book reviews and keeping up with your collection's titles, or Master File Complete containing magazine titles for younger readers like Highlights and Jack and Jill. The Homework Help Resource Guides contains best bets for helping young library users with their homework after school at the library. So these resources are broken out into similar topical areas to the Public Library Resource Guide, but are for students of all ages to assist them with research assignments and are hopefully helpful to share with them at the reference desk or for you library staff to use for narrowing resources to include in after-school programming. The Collection Development Resource Guide is for your library staff that work with the print collection, adding to, and weeding. These resources provide recommendations, book reviews, and even a collection analysis tool of various parts of your library's collection. And the last resource guide I'm going to briefly highlight is the Accessibility Resource Guide. This lists all accessibility features within BadgerLink resources, which features you will find and within which resources. As I said, with 6 content providers providing resources, interfaces and capabilities can be different by resource, so this is handy to have this functionality listed all in one place on this guide. Resource guides were developed to be shared however works best for you, whether that is printing them as handouts or posting them to your website or using them as selection tools when putting direct links to resources on your own website. I encourage you to check out all the resource guides and use any and all of them. Reach out to us to share your experience, provide feedback on updates or revisions to these guides. We are happy to assist you in making the current guides more user-friendly and personalized to your library, or create new guides for audiences we don't even know about yet. And I encourage you to provide that feedback with us using the Contact Us form up here on the For Library Staff page. The next section is marketing the resources, where you can find bookmarks and posters to request be sent to you free of charge. These bookmarks and posters showcase various subjects and research areas one will find in BadgerLink resources. So we encourage you to view and request as many as you would like to share with your community users and post on your library walls depending. The bookmarks come in packs of 100 for sharing, and you can request as many posters as you would like to display. We mail them to your library free of charge, either through the Postal Service or through statewide library delivery network. So that is found under Marketing the Resources. There are also materials that you can feel free to download and print yourself or share via your web pages and social media to promote BadgerLink resources. This is listed under Marketing the Resources as flyers. Also under Marketing the Resources is a link to share your BadgerLink story with us. If you have a success story of using BadgerLink resources with your community users, we definitely want to hear about that and invite you to share with us so we can in turn share on the BadgerLink website. These stories have such an impact when shared with the broader library community, so we encourage you to do so. Next, under training materials, this includes links to the BadgerLink training page's asynchronous materials on the individual resources or types of resources that have been highlighted in previous webinars. So the BadgerLink training page has info sheets, videos, and websites that can be watched, viewed, downloaded, printed, and shared asynchronously at any time with your colleagues and library users. Much like the resource guides, please feel free to utilize them how you see fit, and if there's anything missing, please reach out to us to request a training be created or personalized training using the training request form. And then finally, on the For Library Staff page, the last section is for the classroom, and it highlights a few specific materials created with K-12 classrooms, educators, and their students in mind. Though folks that work in the public library within youth services may find them helpful when planning programming or activities using BadgerLink resources, the section includes scavenger hunt activities and research guides specific to using BadgerLink resources. In briefly highlighting the For Library Staff page today, I hope ideas for sharing BadgerLink resources at your library has been sparked. For questions or feedback on this page and what can be found here, please contact us using the Contact Us form or email us at badgerlink.dpi.wi.gov. Thank you for promoting and supporting BadgerLink resources in your libraries.